What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Shay Renee, and today we're going to talk about that second part of the Real Housewives of New Jersey reunion. Y'all, I, can I tell y'all something? I'm about getting sick and tired of the Teresa show, okay? Somebody, somebody tell this woman that she's an idiot. Let's get into it, shall we? All right, y'all. So Teresa continues to bash her brother on national TV and embarrass the heck out of him. Okay. So Andy encourages Teresa to go apologize to Joe when he walks off and says that he's going to quit the show. And he tells her that, she was putting him down and, she really shouldn't do that. So Teresa goes in the back to talk to Joe, and she tells him he needs to. So instead of her going back there and talking to him and trying to smooth things over, she proceeds to tell him that he needs to defend her against Margaret and her piece of crap husband or whatever. She was like, and this and this, talking about because Margaret's Joe was in the back trying to, basically console or talk to Joe Gorga because his sister is out here basically embarrassing the hell out of him and talking trash. So he's looking like, I don't have anything to do with this. I'm just trying to be a good friend. So anyway, Teresa continues to go on and on about how he needs to protect her against Margaret, not taking any responsibility for what she said and continuing to really just defend her bullshit. So Louis comes over there and Joe says, "Don't go out there and defend my sister. You're a bitch if you go out there and defend my sister." And I was like, wow. And then Teresa's like, well, no, he's defending his woman. And, now it's okay for Louis to go out there and defend her. But when he's out there trying to defend his wife because Teresa is treating her like crap, not wanting to have her in the wedding, saying that she's not close to her, and somehow in a year you're so much closer to Louis' sisters than you are to your own sister-in-law that's been around for over 10 years. Girl, boo and bye, Teresa. I'm about sick and tired of you. So then Teresa keeps saying Joe needs to defend her against Margaret. Then he won't be a bitch boy. And then he comes back. She ends up going back there after Andy comes to the back and tells her, "Tell your brother that you're sorry. We need to find some resolution because we really want Joe to come back out. He's a great part of this show. We care about him. Like you need to basically make this right." So then she begins to say, I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. Like Joe is in the middle of telling her how he feels and why he's saying the things that he's saying. And then she just cuts him off and says she's sorry. I'm like, you don't fucking even believe your own bullshit. She is just saying she's sorry just to say it. She is not really sorry. I don't even know why Joe and Melissa continue to entertain Teresa and her short forehead ass. I don't understand. I don't get it. But anyway, Jackie is outside talking to Jennifer, and they're all pretty much trying to talk some sense into her. They're like, listen, when you're not around Teresa, you're an easier person to deal with. And I think that you are more sensible when you're not around her. We're just trying to get you to see that you don't need to be so far up her ass. You can have your own damn opinion. And listen, the stuff that Teresa does is wrong. And it's okay for you to say so. So Jennifer flip-flops as usual. Of course she agrees with them, but if she dare not have her leader see her not coving and at her teeth, licking at her teeth and not at her side, okay? So moving on. Joe says he told Louis to just put it out on Front Street. He's in the back talking, and he says to Teresa, I told Louis to just put it out on Front Street and what the women are saying about him in the blogs, because that'll dead it. And then Andy says, yeah, I would have asked him questions anyway about what was going on, because Teresa was like, well, Margaret is the only reason why these things are out. And Andy was like, that's not true. Like, that everybody continues to tell this short forehead dodo brain that people were going to ask about this stuff with Louis anyway. You're on a fucking national TV show, dummy. Of course they're going to ask you what the hell is going on with your boyfriend, especially with all this outrageous shit that he has all over the internet. Allegedly, he's abusive to women, verbally, physically. You know, he plays mind games with these women. These stories on the internet are outrageous if they're true. And my thing is, if I'm in a relationship with somebody, I don't know about y'all, but if I was single right now, I'm married and I've been married for almost 10 years. But if I got a date again, I'm Googling the hell out of a motherfucker before I go on a date with him. So I don't know what the hell Teresa, what blinders she done put over her rose colored glasses she still got going on her damn face. But she needs to at least look at this stuff and address it with Louis. This is the type of stuff that leads women into being mentally abused and then physically. Okay, they take over your mind first, and then the rest is history. So with Teresa avoiding all of this stuff and blatantly just blaming it on Margaret instead of sitting down like a big girl and dealing with it, it's very strange. So getting to the point, Andy basically tells her if Margaret brought it up or not, somebody was going to bring it up. Either basically he was going to have somebody in production lead it through the women, or he was going to bring it up himself on the show. And she says, "Well, Margaret is my friend. It's different. I understand if you're going to bring it up, but Margaret is my friend." I'm like, this girl is dumb as a box of rocks. But anyway, Andy ends up coming back to the stage, and Dolores is on FaceTime with her boyfriend, Paulie. They discuss her new relationship with Paulie, her mom's health, and the fact that Frank now lives with David. Which I'm like, this sick relationship that everybody in her family, her kids, and Frank have with David. I'm just like, why is this man so interested in everybody around you but your fucking ass? Like, what was wrong with you? Why is David more interested than everybody around you than you? Like, that's rather strange to me. Like, I really, really just don't get it. But anyway, you like it, I love it, Dolores. I'm glad you done found you a new man, child, because Lord knows you need somebody to give you some dick, because you be tripping. And I don't know what the hell, if she ain't going back to Frank, she needs somebody, because David is just not it. So moving on. So they discuss David dating one of Louis' exes. So Teresa immediately chimes in, well, no, he didn't date her for that long. He was only dating her for 2 months. And then, of course, well, he met me. So I don't know what happened to her. I mean, clearly, like he found a prize when he got her dog ass. I'm like, girl, shut the fuck up. You don't know how long he was dating that chick for real. So what are you talking? How do you know? They could have been dating for a whole year. But I do find it strange that one of Louis' exes is somehow now messing with David. It's just a bunch of people that are clearly obsessed with these people on this show, and they're finding any way to try to get around them. You got to be very careful with who you hanging around in the Jersey streets, because it seems like everybody is pining after the Real Housewives of New Jersey. Okay. So moving right along, she's basically saying that Teresa says she's glad that no, Dolores says she's glad that she moved on, because once she cares about someone, it takes time to get over them. But once she's done, she's done. So Dolores and Paulie spend a lot of time together, because Andy asked that she spend more time with him than she did with David. And I think that Dolores didn't want to ever admit it, but she definitely wanted to be in a relationship with somebody that actually relationships with her. Like her and David, she used to try to talk him up and play him up and act like she didn't want to talk about feelings and all this, that, and the third. But you're a human being. Like, you have feelings. If y'all not talking about it, how was he to know to fix things? Or how was he to know that he wasn't treating you right if you're not saying anything to him? That's the problem with a lot of women. Women think that somebody's supposed to read your fucking mind. And men, are very intelligent. Sometimes they'll know. I think David knew that she wanted more attention, but he was like, "Oh, she want to play this little game like she don't have no emotions and don't want to talk about shit. I'm gonna play the game with her ass, and I ain't gonna talk to her about shit, and I'm gonna just do what I want to do." And that's why their relationship is now over, because that is not a healthy way to communicate with your spouse. But I hope it works out with Paulie. And it's interesting. He's Irish and his name is Paulie. I thought that was more of a Jersey Guido name. But anyway, moving on. They discuss the kids and have flashbacks of all of their kids, the kids going to camp. So Jackie's kids going to camp and the kids being in the house, Jennifer's kids in the house, and Gabby and Frankie having significant others in the house, and how they talked about that. So a reviewer sent in a question saying that a comment saying that they cringed about Frank talking about Gabby's boyfriend not satisfying her. Here's the thing. We can't get, weirded out by the things that Frank says. Like, he says outlandish things all the time, and these kids, these are his kids. They grew up with him, so they may understand what he's saying a hell of a lot more than we would. Like, that's their family banter that they go back and forth. Just like she's telling him that he can't bring nobody in the house and fuck him, he can talk about whoever she dealing with. Like, that's their banter that they have going back and forth. I don't see anything like weird about it, but people always want to make a big deal out of shit, whatever. So then they discuss Melissa moving to make sure the boys could play football, and she doesn't really, and instead of moving to a place, moving somewhere that they could stay in the area for Antonia to go to school, or at least waiting until she graduates to move. And of course, Melissa deflects and doesn't answer the question. And she says she doesn't really answer. She doesn't, she couldn't control when the house sold, but Antonia has made friends and now has two sets of friends. Melissa, first of all, y'all moved out of y'all house. You didn't have to sell your house. That's the first thing. You could have waited until Antonia graduated. Secondly, you moving for football for your little pipsqueak sons. No shade, but these little boys are short and scrawny playing football. Like, they're not, I mean, in my opinion, I don't see them running down no NFL field no time soon, okay? So you could have stayed there for 2 more years for that girl to graduate from high school. That's your oldest daughter. She was the one excelling in sports. It seems like your boys are really just kind of getting their feet wet playing football, and they're tiny. Like, maybe they should be wrestling or something. I don't know, but you could have stayed there for that girl to graduate. Just be truthful and say that, you know what? I wasn't thinking, and I should have kept her feelings in mind, and maybe we could have moved. We done already moved now, but I'm glad that she's made new friends and she's made peace with it. That would have been a better answer, because you really did just take your sons over your daughter, and it's trifling. But anyway, moving on. They discuss Margaret saying Jennifer can just send the kids to therapy if they have issues with a divorce, because she says, they talk about the comment. Margaret says her comment didn't land the way she wanted it to when she was talking to, so Jennifer was talking about the issues with them bringing up her husband cheating, and Margaret was like, oh, well, they can just go to therapy. But then Jennifer brings up, well, maybe your stepkids can just go to therapy, because they were asking Margaret about her stepkids and if she has a relationship with them still and if she still talks to them. And she's like, well, they were really hurt by, apparently, her leaving their dad and whatnot. But I'm like, how long she been married to Joe? This been some years now. Like, these kids are probably grown as hell, paying their own gas, electric, and mortgage. Okay, I don't think that they should be really that much more traumatized, especially with somebody that was their stepmother and not their birth mother. But okay, moving on. Andy asked Teresa about Gia reading the things that the comments about Louis on the internet and all the things that he's done. and how she feels about living with men again. And Teresa says Gia only knows about it because Margaret put it out there. First of all, unless Margaret called Gia on the phone and said, hey girl, you know what Louis been doing out here, which I'm pretty sure Margaret did not. Margaret is not the reason why people know about the foolishness that this man George of the Jungle was doing. Okay? Like, I'm really just, it really, y'all, I'm trying to tell you, it takes me days to do these reviews for Jersey because she really pisses me off. And I just don't even understand why these people are acting like minions and fold under her crusty feet. Because Teresa is not nobody to follow. She is Captain Dumbass. And these people are just stupid to listen to anything that she's saying. First of all, Gia is very smart, unlike her mother. And if she's reading this stuff on the internet, clearly they showed a clip of her asking her mother about the stuff on the internet. And, of course, Teresa, I don't know if she really fully answered the girl's question or not, but of course she's constantly evading the question about anything negative pertaining to Louis. So then Andy maintains that it wasn't Margaret that brought this stuff out. The internet brought this stuff out, and that they were going to talk about it anyway, regardless of whether Margaret said something or not. Then she says, well, he is then Teresa says, well, he is dating Teresa Giudice, so of course people are going to talk about him. And then she stands up and does this twirl, and that damn disco ball of mirrors she calls a damn dress, child. I was like, what the hell is this outfit? This pantsuit. Girl, take this mess off. You look terrible. Mirror, mirror on the wall. Teresa, take this dress off and let it fall and never wear it again. Anyway, they discussed Jackie's eating disorder and how she finally opened up to her husband about relapsing and not wanting to die. They discussed her journey. Then they discussed Teresa's fat shaming Margaret, which I really love how, Jackie opened up about her eating disorder this season, because she probably really helped a lot of people that are scared to talk about it, or people that think that their family members or friends don't notice that they're not eating when they're going out, or, people really be thinking that people don't notice when they are doing weird shit or doing shit that's just kind of off. And so they continue to do it in hiding and never get any help. And some people go so long without getting help that they do end up ending in fatality, or, doing something to themselves that they can't, change. So I'm glad that she decided to take that next step and, pretty much get her life together. So then when they talk about Margaret and Teresa fat shaming her, Jackie was pissed that Teresa said. So she said something about Margaret in these leggings. And she said if Margaret had on her leggings, her ass wouldn't jiggle. And then Teresa said that if Margaret never misses a meal. And she said, well, no, I wasn't saying that she's fat or whatever. I was just saying, she never missed a meal because, we didn't get to eat that night. Teresa, shut the fuck up. You are definitely calling this lady fat. And I know you fucking lying. Okay? We remember when you were eating eggs and celery to do that daggone competition that you were in. You look like you might need a damn salad these days. So, or something more than a salad. And you might be on Jackie's plan. So you need to shut up and not worry about nobody else's weight. Anyway, and that's my opinion. Moving on. Cowardly Lion Jennifer chimes in trying to defend Teresa, saying Margaret said something about her falling and Margaret having to catch her, saying she is no lightweight and that is fat shaming Jen. First of all, Jen, Margaret was saying that your drunk ass is always drinking and that you're not a lightweight. Like you can drink alcohol. You're not like a lightweight person that only drinks 2 shots and you're done. Like you can really take them back. And so she was saying, be mindful of what you're drinking because you're not a lightweight, but sometimes you can drink so much that you do forget that you have reached your limit. That's what Margaret was saying. She wasn't talking about your weight, big bird nose. I'm just like, girl, you look like the Cowardly Lion with these frilly ass things on your damn sleeve, and you over here with your beak talking crap. Shut up. Just shut up, Jennifer. Then Margaret goes back and forth. Then her and Margaret go back and forth about, her digging, Jennifer digging for stuff and insults, and they're just going back and forth, insulting each other, and it's whatever. So in the next scene, they discuss Bill cheating on Jennifer, and she feels like no one would have known if Margaret had not have put it out there. First of all, you're on a reality TV show. Anything negative or bad about you becomes open sesame, okay? Everybody is going to find out something about you so people can talk shit, just like I'm doing right now. Okay? So Margaret says everyone knew because people in the office were talking in Bill's office that he worked in talk, and they knew the chick that he cheated on. And they also discussed how the information, Jennifer said that information affected their kids. And then they talk about Melissa calling Jennifer fake and phony, and she shows pics of Melissa's Instagram post with Andy and a pic of Jen after surgery getting her nose job, saying she was attacked. Girl, bye, Jen. Like, when she pulled out these pictures talking about she was attacked, and then I'm so tired of her talking about her kids gonna see this and that and the third. Everybody's kids on this show see stuff. So what about if Jackie's kids see that you're out here trying to dig up information on their father and incriminate him with something that he clearly didn't do? Because you ain't find shit, Carmen Sandiego. I just, Jennifer really, like, I feel like she's playing a character and she's fired. I'm sick of her. But anyway, moving on. Girl, you was not attacked. You got a nose job. Nobody feels sorry for you, sis. Get over it. Moving on, they discuss Jen being a hypocrite about blaming Margaret for cheating but never blaming Bill. And Melissa says Jen lives in a glass house, so why hammer things down Margaret's throat about her cheating, but you hid Bill cheating? They talk about Margaret cracking a joke about Joe going home with the stench of her on him when he was married. And they discuss Margaret calling Jen a mail order bride, and Melissa says, well, why are we sensitive about everything going on with Jen, but Jen says everything under the sun. A viewer writes in and says, why blame the other woman and not Bill? And then Jen apparently called and got the other woman fired. So in this scene, I didn't agree with Margaret kind of chiming in, and it seemed like she was like being like the spokesperson for the other woman. Girl, it is never cute nor classy to be the other woman. Okay, let's just be very clear. And in most situations, when you the other woman, you damn sure don't become the wife. So Margaret is a very rare breed, and she ought not try to put this information out there to these other side chicks, because you will never be the main chick, sis. I'm just letting you know. Everybody ain't Margaret. I don't know what Margaret was doing, or maybe both of them were just at their wits' end in their marriages and that was it. Whatever the case may be, that ain't how it always ends up. And I just feel like Margaret making jokes. Yes, that's her life. So art imitates life. She's talking about her life. She's making light of it or whatever. But you in a group of married women, like, that shit ain't funny to them, you being somebody's side chick. Like, let's just make that very clear. And I didn't like how she really tried to glorify that and make it seem like people were just being extra. No, you was fucking somebody's husband, sis. There ain't nothing funny about that at all. It ain't nothing to make light about it, okay? And then but Jen blaming the other woman and getting her fired and all this, that, and the third. You damn right I'm going to do everything to the other woman, too. I'm going to get at my husband as well. But do you think that I'm going to just ignore the fact or make dinner for this bitch? No. I don't give a shit about the other woman. Now, am I going to her job and trying to get her fired and all that? I got too much shit to do to be doing all that. But am I about to have her name her first child after me? No. Ain't no that. I don't want to have nothing to do with you. I don't even want to look at nobody like that. So I don't even know. Anyway, I don't know why Jen did all of that with the chick. But here's the thing. Your husband participated too. And the fact that you buried this for 10 years and want to act like, shit is sweet, like, it's okay, and you just kind of blocked it out of your mind. No, you didn't block it out of your mind because you were in a serious rage when this stuff came out. And you were directing your anger at the wrong person. You can't be sitting up here mad at Margaret for bringing it up. Y'all on fucking reality TV. Of course she's going to bring up shit. Margaret is very smart. She said, "You bitches will not embarrass me. I'm going to come out here and I'm going to tell you everything under the sun, close to my blood type, okay? So ain't nobody ever going to come on this show and try to shade and embarrass me more than I could ever shade and embarrass my damn self. So you bitches better be truthful about your life, because if I find out about it, I'm airing your ass out." And that's a very dangerous person, because at this point, she don't give a fuck about nothing that's going on with her. So it's not like you can retaliate and be like, "Ooh, well, Margaret got her husband by cheating and leaving her husband." She gonna be like, "So I told, that's very first season when I got here. I told y'all that. So next." It's hard to come after somebody that don't give a fuck. Like Margaret is the poster child for "I don't give a fuck about none of this shit." And I love every minute of it, because she's the only person on this show that is truthful and not full of shit. So anyway, y'all, we gonna see what this part 3 is. I mean, Teresa sitting on here putting her family down. She ain't gonna have not no allies next season. And truth be told, can I tell you something? Dolores, let me talk to you for a minute, sis. Teresa is not your friend. Let's be very clear about that. She wants to be friends with whoever is going to help her social climb, or whoever suits her image or kisses her ass the most, okay? You ain't putting your lips on her ass enough. So she didn't even invite you. I bet you Dina Manzo was at her damn engagement party. I bet you that. But that's another story for another day. Thank you guys for watching. Please, please, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video with anybody else that watches Jersey and Teresa and her short ass forehead too. And I will catch you in the next video. Peace out.